name is Charles Moore, and this is the New Generation's Impact on Construction. All right, let's talk about the Great Recession for a second. The Great Recession's impact on the construction industry was about in 2008, whenever the house market started to crash. Now, when the house market started to crash, a lot of people started to leave the construction industry, and how that affected it today is that it actually created a generational gap. Now, the generational gap, as you can see by the FMI, which is an independent study on the construction industry, they said that 53% are facing a skilled labor shortage, and that was only in 2013, 5 years after the recession. Now, you look in 2015, 86% of companies who participated in this survey, they are now facing a skilled labor shortage. And why is this? It's because there's generations of baby boomers. They're retiring. They're getting out of the field. A lot of skilled labor is leaving, and that leaves the new generations to pick up the slack. So these labor shortages are actually causing a big issue in the industry. Now let's look at these the generational gaps. Gen X, which is your middle management right now, your supervisors, and they're supposed to be your trainers. These guys are actually going to have to move up in the industry and take the boomer spots that left. Millennials in the industry, they're the new guys. They're the ones who are having to change the game in sorts. And if you change the game, there's going to be a little bit of fallback. And Gen Z gets to ride on those coattails. So we're in the clear. Go ahead. Let's talk about Gen X in the industry. Like I said, the change is going to fall on their shoulders. They're going to have to be the ones that actually implement the change I'm going to be talking about here in a few slides on to make the conversion, to make construction a booming industry. As you'll see later on, I actually found a research paper, McKinsey and Company. They're talking about how much productivity has gone down in the industry. All these other industries have been taken off, while the construction industry is barely increasing. We'll get to that in a little bit. They're going to have to be the new modern boss. They're going to have to be that boss that coddles the millennials, right? They're going to have to be the trophy givers of sorts, because everybody has to have the trophy, is what they say nowadays for millennials. But they're going to have to be the ones that pat them on the back, tell them they're doing a good job. And we'll talk about millennials here now. Now, millennials are expecting three things. They are expecting competitive pay, a good work-life balance, professional and personal development. In that study, they found that those top three things, when surveyed the millennials, were the top three important things. Not too much to ask, right? Competitive pay in a market where you are actually sought after. They're facing a skilled labor shortage. You're expected to be compensated for that skilled labor that you're bringing to the table. Work-life balance. Social groups are coming into effect now. You have a lot more time to get together with other people. The internet brings everybody else together. So people are wanting to actually, balance their work and their life, separate those two, not make work their life. It makes sense. And personal and professional development. This is what is interesting to me. You're actually looking at a generation that doesn't get much credit, but they're more actively seeking to increase in the industry than most other generations. They're wanting to have that trained. They're wanting to be trained, and they're wanting to have that success later on. Now, what needs to be changed in construction? I brought up all these other facts about the different generational gaps, right? How can we fix this skilled labor shortage? How does bringing up generations affect what needs to be changed? Let's think about it here. Companies in the construction industry lack process to develop and promote high-performing employees. That's interesting because what I just said makes sense that the millennials are actually wanting to have some professional development development, and they're wanting to be promoted to high-performing employees. Let's look back at that FMI development study, and you can see the most commonly used methods to improve performance by people who participated in this survey. The top three are structural coaching, professional development, and career path planning. Structural coaching is basically you're having an apprenticeship, and career planning, we just talked about that previously, and professional development plan for each employee. That's actually having like a self-structured plan, like a 5-year goal like we have here, or a 4-year plan like we have for transferring students going to another college. So they're wanting that laid out for them, and they're wanting that time, or they're wanting that laid out for them so they can have a structure in being promoted. And let's look at somebody that was actually successful in this. This is Barbara Cavenden, and she's the CEO of one of the largest female-owned contracting companies in the nation. And she talked about on Fox Business that she's investing in her workers. How is she investing in her workers? She's actually taking them out of high school and out of vocational school. She's training them the way that she wants them to be trained, but she realizes that that will actually pay off in the long run. And there's such a skilled labor shortage for these people, or for these jobs, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, all that. That in New York, in a union, Ms. Babbitt states that a carpenter that is in the union can make upwards of $150,000 a year. And then that's if they're willing to put in the overtime, which I think is amazing numbers. But that's what can be made from investing in your employees. You can become one of the largest female-owned, or you can become one of the largest owned contracting companies in the nation just because she sat that time away to train her employees and knew that it would invest in the long run, it would come to fruition in the long run. All right, now we're at the McKinsey & Company study, and they actually took apart the industry and learned, and broke it down into seven things that need to be changed to reinvent the industry. Now, I'm already going over most of these. We can look at regulations. That's just certain regulations that need to be sometimes moved aside, and the contractual framework. That's basically I think that goes hand in hand with procurement and supply chain management. So that's actually how people are working together, and they can actually make it better. Design and engineering and digital technology, I think, goes together real well, because you think of construction, you don't think of much of a digital uptick. But with the new generations coming into construction, it's really going to need to be a factor coming in so we can have more productivity. And if you invest in your workers, they'll be more productive, more digitized tools in the industry can actually boost both sides of the party. You actually have a upskilling the workforce with digital technology, and you're also training your employees to make them even better in how you want them to be trained, how you would like them to be trained. Wrapping up my works cited, I have the FMI study, 5 reasons why millennials are great for the construction industry, the Business Fox, and reinvesting through a productivity revolution. And that was that McKinsey & Company study. That's all I got.